Welcome back to another episode of Infinite Love with Kate. It's not just any episode, it's the finale of season 5, and I cannot believe we are here today. 16 weeks later, 16 amazing episodes, and what a journey it's been. Honestly, it's been kind of a cool season. I wasn't exactly expecting it to go the way it went, but that's what happens when you kind of lean into faith and trust. And I started out the journey October 2nd is when I returned back for season 5, a day shy of my 1-month healing anniversary of my major surgery, unexpectedly major surgery. And I thought I was going to have to push it off, which I did a little bit. I mean, I didn't go full throttle into the episode, but I stuck with it. I did it. And I'm grateful I did because now I'm here. Right here, and I can't believe 16 weeks have gone by. There was one moment in that timeline that I was kind of hoping, man, I need a break. And then it happens, right? It does happen in our daily lives. And that's what I've kind of been projecting outwardly with my healing journey, not just physically, but the last 5 seasons, is my internal, emotional, self-healing, spiritual journey. And by sharing that, by projecting outwardly, I'm telling you that there are moments where you have to reassess, reevaluate who you are, where you're at, and then ask yourself, what do I need right here in this moment? And during that time, I did. I assessed myself and said, well, I can't take a break. This is my podcast, right? Without feeling the guilt and the pressure. You know, and I always hear that song, under pressure. I do that to myself often, but not this time. This time I reevaluated and I sat with it and said, well, I can take a break. No problem. I'm not going to feel guilty. And I waited, let the week progress. And honestly, I waited a couple times until the very last minute, but I trusted it. I just leaned more into that unknown faith. I know. Most people will say, like, well, with the type A personality, I like a plan. So do I. But this journey, this healing doesn't have a plan. It doesn't come with instructions or guidelines. I don't know when I'm going to feel the things I feel. I don't know when trauma or wounds are going to surface. I never do. But I go with it. I flow with it. I sit with it. And I also isolate, not to the detriment of my health or well-being, but to what allows me to feel comfortable in order to process, to grieve, to sit with, to let go and release, to figure out. So that's kind of what the season 5 has been. It has really awakened me to patience, to sitting still, to thinking that, all right, you thought your 44 was going to be the year. You really saw all the signs, but it was the year. It was a year for you to really learn about your body, not just heal your face and your differences, and knowing that people look at you differently, judge you differently, see you differently, whether quietly or very outspokenly, not sometimes welcomed, but you've learned to embrace it, listen to it, and release it. Not my journey. Your judgment, not my journey. That's all I gotta say. I can feel it, but I won't hang on to it. Just wipe that beep away. So that's where I'm at. So this year, 44, I thought, oof, something big. The universe has got something huge for me. With a big stamp and said, yeah, I got a lesson. I got a huge lesson for you. Okay. But with 44 also came blessings. No lie. It was one of these. And I rode those waves. I rode them so very strongly. And I'm grateful I did. Because here's what I learned. Here's what I learned during season 5. And part of season 4. Is 44 was a big year for me. I'm almost 2 months away from turning 45. I'm 2 months away from 1 year smoke-free. I am 3 months away from 3 years sober. Great things, right? Pouring into me. Now, my body, is it what it was? No. In the last year, it has gone from what I was desiring to not so much desiring. But I had to learn to look at myself in the mirror and love everything about me. How could I go and love everything about my face and love my inner child and love all that I've really learned to hate in the past, and then all of a sudden get taught this lesson of, well, now your body's changed. You can't simply do the same thing you just poured all that work into with your face. Come on. And it was a valuable lesson because I did need to relearn my body. I did need to relearn acceptance. I needed to learn that this was out of my alignment, was not in my control, but was universe's way of saying, sit with this. Be grateful that you figured it out. Be grateful that you listened to your body and you disregarded what all the doctors kept saying. You're fine. Early menopause. Nothing's wrong with you. This and that. No, it's not this and that. There is something wrong with my body. I am going to speak out. I'm going to speak out very loudly. And then you find out that you were right because you listened, because you advocated for yourself. Things you never did in the past. Things you couldn't communicate very well. For someone who's very outspoken, it wasn't always like that. As a kid, as a teenager, and even a young adult, my communication process was the biggest barrier. Me. The lack of pouring into myself, the lack of choosing me, the lack of love, the self-worth, all lacking. So therefore then my voice, my throat chakra were dismantled. There was so many barriers that I was putting in the way to be unable to speak up for myself. It'd be very quiet and timid. But hear me. Who's going to hear you? You don't even see you. You don't even hear you. So how is anybody going to hear you? So with love, with healing, with confidence comes my voice. Comes the power within to then project outwardly. Is it perfect? Nope. Am I trying to be? No. I'll always state that. People always say, why do you constantly remind people? Because I watch how the world works. And the world's always looking for your next flaw. You can do everything right. And the more you shine bright, remember this, the more you pour into yourself, the brighter you become. And the brighter you become, it is so hard for others to see that light. They don't like it because what it mirrors back to them is everything that they are not. Not everything that they can't be, everything that they are not. I was that person. I felt that rejection. I felt that bitterness. I felt that jealousy and rage. However, my heart and my empathy are so much bigger, so much greater. Because I'm pouring in. I figured it out. I figured out that accountability, looking in the mirror and saying, hey, let's start here. Not let's start there. Let's start here. The world's going to do what the world wants to do. But you can't control that. You can only control what you accept, what you feel about yourself. So here I am, season 5, almost to an end. My body, rediscovering it, reloving it, pouring back into it, listening to when it's ready, not forcing myself to just get out there and go run a marathon because I don't like the weight I've gained. Not going to work. The only way this body will transform and change for the better, for my alignment, to match my alignment with how I feel, is I have to feel that and believe that within. So now that I'm starting to, I'm ready to actually get out there. Yes, it's winter. Yes, I don't like running outside, but I'm now pouring into HelloFresh. I'm not here to be a commercial for them, but this is where I'm beginning. I'm starting to listen, starting to go organic, starting to be healthier, starting to make better choices. And again, I've been doing those little things here and there, but I quit smoking. But by quitting smoking, I've also felt like I wanted to eat the world. And the world said, here, I am your oyster. And I said, gladly. Gluttonous, I learned a lesson. But no more shame. Only acceptance, only love for this body, this beautiful body that has gotten me here to 44 years in counting. Why not just be grateful? Because I am. Why not just learn from the lessons? Okay, I'm here. All right, God, listen to me. Universe, thank you for the lesson. It took me a little bit longer to listen and hear it, but I caught up. I got there. Sometimes you got to put the pen down and the paper and just be. Can't write a novel if you're doing X, Y, and Z. You can't tell a story, make a movie, sing a song, if your mind, your heart, and your soul aren't in it. Everything has to come together in alignment. Otherwise, you're forcing the process, which then makes for a disaster. You might get lucky and you might make success off of one thing, one viral video. But if it wasn't all there, if you weren't all there, you'll never know how to get back to that, how to recreate that over and over and over again. Then you'll be chasing emptiness. I don't want to chase emptiness anymore. I want to understand every single thing I'm doing in my life for its purpose, for my purpose, for the greater purpose. I want to keep pouring back into me because everything I pour into me then goes outwardly. And that's what changes the world. I no longer want the world to be divided, but I can't be divided within. I no longer want the world to judge and hate. I got to choose love within. Do you see how that affects and impacts the world? Because everything I pour into myself, yes, my light will become brighter. And that's what I hope it does. Project movement forward. Choose you. Pour into you. Love you. Keep doing it. Don't just do it here and there. But don't shame yourself when you feel like you've fallen away. Get back up and try again. What if Michael Jordan quit during high school when he thought he was a nobody? We never would have had the greatness of what he was and what he became. We never would have had successful movies because of him. Nike shoes because of him. Don't you see that no matter what, the world's going to push back? And there's a greater purpose for that pushback. It is to build resilience in you to keep pushing forward, to never stop in your tracks unless it's just a pause and breathe and process, release, let go, or to reflect and hold gratitude. So that's where I'm at today. I am right here with all of you saying thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you if this was the start of your journey on season 5. I highly recommend you go back. You're going to see a lot of bumps and bruises along the way because, like anything else, I poured myself into a project that I'm still learning. I am no podcaster expert, but I'm loving it. And they say the more you love it, the more you stick with it. And just like anything else, it's when you fall out of love with it, then you move on to find something new, something greater. Because you never know where the world's going to take you. It's never rejection, it's redirection. So, with that being said, from my heart to yours, thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for loving. Thank you for choosing you or choosing yourself on this journey. Thank you for choosing me and infinite love with Kate. Until next season, much love, and please go back, re-listen, or catch up. Stay safe, stay beautiful, and stay in love with yourself. I love you always. Thank you.